I'm Jenna.
Hello, I'm Gloria.
We are Worthy Wellness.
Because we are worth it.
Our purpose is to introduce women entrepreneurs, products, and services while proceeds help women in need for holistic care and therapy services.
Welcome, ladies. Hello, everyone, and thank you again for joining us for another episode of Worthy Wellness Podcast. My name is Gloria, and I'll be your host tonight. Today we have Miss Loren Landeros. She is the CEO and founder of Live, Love, Food for Life. Hi, Loren. How are you?
Hi, Gloria. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I just want to let everyone know that Loren and I are sitting outside in my backyard watching the sun go down this evening. So if you hear a few little birdies in the background or maybe a little car, just bear with us. We're just having a lovely evening tonight and enjoying this interview. Loren, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I sure can. And just to say, it is a beautiful evening, and Gloria has a great backyard with lots of trees and lots of birds. So it's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And so a little bit about me. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. But that wouldn't be my first title, but that is what I do as a profession. I am a Latina. I was born here. I'm native to California. I was raised by two immigrant Mexican parents. I am a mom, a wife, a daughter, a cousin, a friend. What else? I'm a grandma. I'm a grandma. Oh my gosh, I'm a grandma. It's hard to think about. But I'm also a teacher, and I'm a forever student of learning lots of different trades and tricks that I can help people improve their lifestyle.
That's wonderful. And she's a great friend, by the way. I want to let everybody know that you're really a wonderful person. So tell us what you like to do for fun.
Well, first I want to say thank you. That made my day. I like to eat for fun. I know it sounds almost cliche that a dietitian likes to eat. I'm sure a lot of us like to get into professions that we like to. There's either something wrong with us or we just really enjoy food. We love cooking, right? I like other people cooking for me. I'm going to preface that by saying I do cook, but nevertheless, so eating is one of my favorite pastimes, along with traveling. So I do like to travel for food. Because it really becomes like a fun little game because it's really, really difficult to find really good vegan cuisine. So anywhere I go, I'm always on the hunt for good food. And, I really should have become a food critic, right? A vegan food critic.
So, Loren, tell us what made you decide to go into becoming a registered dietitian nutritionist.
So years ago, my son was diagnosed when he was about 7 or 8 with ADHD, OCD. And he actually, like any kid, the doctor wanted to put him on medication. And I didn't know much about Ritalin or Adderall. And I was nervous because I read and heard that it was like kiddie cocaine. And I didn't want my son that was, little at the time to be put on that medication. So I decided I would do it naturally. So I read books and I looked into I researched whatever I could. And I wanted to do it with diet, and lifestyle changes. And I did. And I actually, one of the symptoms my son had was migraines, and I was able to mitigate a lot of his symptoms that he was presenting with diet. I mean, just removing some of the dyes out of the diet was huge. And none of my family liked it because I'm a believer of one for all for one. And so I put the whole family on his diet because I didn't want him to feel isolated. And that works really well with kiddos because I believe that they want to be part of a group, and don't isolate them, but really include the diet into the family dynamic so that the kiddo can feel included. So that's what I did for my son. And so he really thrived on it, up until they become teenagers. What can I say? Right.
Right. And so in doing that, how do you approach being a registered dietitian nutritionist in a holistic way?
So it's really about understanding what the patient presentation is, what their symptoms are, what their signs are, really looking at the person and identifying what those underlying factors are, because a lot of times we're just looking at the actual symptoms, but we're not looking at what's actually causing it, right? Because there's a lot of things that is difficult to support people with if they're under a lot of stress, if they have insomnia, if their gut is out of balance. You definitely want to address those imbalances first before you get to the nitty gritty of what's going on, because many, many, many conditions are related to gut imbalances or gut dysbiosis. So yeah, it really is important to address those underlying factors that patients don't even think, yeah, I'm stressed, but you know what? I could be like a 10, but my body's handling it like a 5. And I'm like, yeah, your body's not handling it like a 5, right?
Right,
It's handling like the 10, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's amazing to me because it is your gut, as you know, is your second brain.
Yeah,
And so and I know you have a private practice, correct?
I do.
Okay. And so you see patients that come in with all different kinds of disease issues or problems in regards to that?
Yes, and the most common, and I want to chuckle because the most common is weight. Weight. Everybody wants to come in for weight loss. It's like, you know what? This weight just doesn't come off me. But I always need to explain to them that weight is um a lot more than what we think of it. It's not just calories in, calories out. There's so much more that encompasses weight. And it's until we uncover all the other issues like hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism or allergies or a gut imbalance, right? Or constipation for that matter. So yeah, I do get lots of different things, allergies, right? Lots of different people have allergies, especially with the food today, right? Because it's so processed. Our food today is from the cows to the wheat to the sugar that we consume. It's so processed, and it is not good for us. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. That's my opinion. Everybody has one. I'm just going to give you my opinion, right? Because it isn't. I don't believe that it's beneficial for us because it's devoid of nutrients. So yeah.
So what are the top, other than weight, what are the other top 2 things that people come to see you for?
A lot of times it's gastrointestinal distress.
Okay.
Yeah, and insomnia I see a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I see a lot of
Wow.
insomnia.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Insomnia is prevalent in today's society, not just with are women that are going through menopause, right? It's not just with women, but kids, young kids, many people are going through insomnia. I've come across people that have a lot of anxiety and depression. That's another mood. I see a lot of people with mood imbalances. So they all tie in together. So I can actually relate a lot of the conditions together. And you know what? I don't want to say that I don't see patients with diabetes and cholesterols, but the elevated cholesterols or hyperlipidemia, whichever way you want to say it. But those are common conditions that they come in. But funny, that's not what they want to address when they see you. They may have diabetes and they may have elevated cholesterol, but they're looking at, I have some weight problems and I need to lose weight. And then a lot of times it's fear of eating. It's fear of eating because they've been told, don't eat this, don't eat that, eat this. This is okay. But then, they have elevated cholesterol and they can't have a keto diet, right? So yeah, there's just a lot of confusion with food. So yeah.
And you do work hand in hand with a lot of practitioners, yes?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Mm-hmm.
And so tell us a little bit about registered dietitians and nutritionists, how the whole process works when you're working with a MD?
So, when we work hand in hand with an MD, we are there to support the doctor, right? Doctor has limited time. They have multiple patients. So normally doctors will refer to a dietitian so that we can actually break down the conditions and review the labs with the patients, um, that the doctors sometimes may not have that uh, flexibility to actually discuss. So I actually break down the disease state to the patient so that they understand, because for me, my goal is for people to know what's going on with their body. I don't want them to be left in the dark. I want them to understand if they have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. I want them to know how that affects their body and what that can cause in the future. Because if they don't know, they're not going to be able to act accordingly. They're not going to be able to participate in their prevention, right?
Right.
Because they're going to be like, I'm just going to take this pill and I'm going to be fine. No, well, those medications, although beneficial, right? Although beneficial, may actually cause nutrient depletions that are needed for the patient. And if we don't replete those, it's just going to end up getting worse. So,
Right.
yeah.
And I really like that. The whole idea about the holistic nutritionist, dietitian, I love that, because getting to the root of the problem, you have different registered dietitians, nutritionists that work in hospitals and work, in different areas, but you all practice differently, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, there are some of us that are practicing with, we focus on patients that have diabetes. We focus on autoimmunity. We focus on gut. So it's central, right, to a particular body. And when we're just looking at one area, that's all we're focused on. We're not actually looking at the whole person. So yeah, we can handle a few of the other components, but we're only looking at the illness, and that's all we're addressing. We're not looking at the other imbalances, because stress is huge for people. And if we don't help mitigate their stress or, guide them so that they can start to see a therapist, because I do recommend a lot of therapy referrals for them, because helping them reduce stress helps them reduce potential imbalances that can be happening, as well as weight gain, because stress is a huge impact on weight. And people don't realize that. And so I explain to them the mechanisms behind weight gain and the imbalances. So yeah, there's many of us in different fields. Sports nutrition, but like you mentioned, the hospital setting. We work in schools. We work in the business setting, right? So yeah, I just think that more of us really need to get into the holistic setting to help support many of the people in society today, right? And I do like to look at holistic nutrition kind of like a tree, right? The trunk is the base of the tree, our body, right? The branches are our extension, but it's the root of the tree that is the actual organ systems, and our cardiovascular system, our venous system, our lymphatic, all of that is encompassing. And what is going on with that? Our metabolism, our physiology, what is going on with all of those processes that is causing the problem, right? Because there's a tiny little imbalance in there somewhere we gotta find. So
And you gotta find, and I like that root, having to dig up that root, excavate it, and see what's written on that root.
Absolutely.
Because holistically, that's the best approach to go, I think. That's my personal opinion. So tell us how you work with your patients. You do work with supplements as well with your patients?
I do. I believe in supplements. I believe here in since we're in California, we don't always follow, eat the rainbow diet, right? Eat all the rainbows. Even I, as a dietitian, as a vegan, I don't always have that particular time where I'm going to get all the colors. And and as a vegan, there are some issues that we come across and we need to supplement. So I believe that supplements can be our friend. However, I am going to preface it by saying not all supplements are created equal.
Okay.
Not all supplements, and that's a whole nother topic, Gloria. We'll have to go into supplements and really dive deep into that. But yes, I do believe that supplements can be your best friend, especially when you're trying to support a more optimal health or a optimal lifestyle, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've seen it with myself and with family members how taking the right supplements really helps a lot in continuing to get your gut healthy, with your cognitive resources, your heart, kidneys, liver, all of that. And so I love the fact that you do work with supplements and you do really study your supplements for your patients.
We do. And especially patients that have allergies, we have to be mindful because allergies they're so pronounced in today's society that we really have to be careful. There's gluten intolerance, gluten sensitivities, a celiac disease, right? But then we have, the common allergens. But now we're actually going into, aside from the common allergens is people are starting to become allergic to different foods like avocados and strawberries and tomatoes, grass for that matter, right? Because, we eat grass, barley grass, right? And so we want to look at everything because we don't know what's in the supplement. We don't know what they're giving us. So we have to look at the breakdown to understand. And you mentioned probiotics. Yeah, there's so many benefits with probiotics because it's not just about your gut flora, but you mentioned earlier the gut-brain connection. So we have psychobiotics. Psychobiotics are actually there to support the gut-brain connection. And they help support mood. And there's been so many great studies on those particular probiotics. I believe that's been the latest. But there's other probiotics that help with weight, help with migraines. You wouldn't think that a bacteria would be there to support you with a migraine, but guess what? Yes, they are. They're there, and they're strain specific. That's one of the things that we need to understand is probiotics are specifically for conditions. There's particular strains of a probiotic that is that will benefit a particular condition, like obesity. There are strains to help with weight loss as well. So
really,
yeah.
I didn't know that. So in regards to, let's talk more about the holistic approach when you are seeing a patient for a first time. Can you kind of break that down? So for our listeners, if they want to come in and see you, do a one-on-one.
Oh my goodness. For me, when they first come to see me, it's all about building the relationship with the patient, right? It's all about building that foundational relationship with a patient and understanding what's going on with them as far back as they want to go, because I want a timeline. I want a timeline of what's going on with their body and when the last time they really felt well. When was the last time you felt well? And what happened since then? Because normally people start feeling unwell when some traumatic issue has happened. One, they got married and that was a joyous event, but it's still stress. Or they had a baby. I know those are joyous events, but it's still stress, right? It can cause imbalances in the body. Or they had to move because of a job, whatever is going on that caused their imbalance. Or, they had an accident. They had some kind of traumatic accident. You want to know because that is a game changer. That's a shift. Something happened to them. At that point in time, their body's physiology changed because there was trauma. And trauma, which is a whole nother topic, gets stored in the body, right, especially if we don't work through it. And I know, Gloria, you're a holistic healer. And so, yeah, that's a whole nother topic in itself, but trauma is a big, big deal. So yeah, we'll keep it at that.
Yeah. So then when they come in and see you, then you
Yeah.
start from the
Yeah.
ground up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can they bring in their labs for you to read,
Mhm.
any kind of medications they're taking, supplements, things like that?
Absolutely. When I see patients, it's all about them giving me their labs, whatever they have. I do like to order extensive labs for them. I do have access to functional nutrition testing, genetics. We can do Nutra eval through Genova Diagnostics. There are stool testing, which is great. So yeah, I want to see their labs. I want to see all their history. I want to know everything. I read their labs to them within my scope of practice, right?
Mhm.
I do not diagnose as a dietitian. But I can let them know that if I see any imbalances, and I will always redirect to their practitioner to support them further if I see something that's going on. But yeah, their medicine is so important to me because it's important for me to discuss how it impacts them nutritionally. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's very important because if they're taking something that's
Mhm.
not good for them,
Mhm.
good for their gut,
Mhm.
their brain, their liver, and it's just making them more toxic or it's making them more imbalanced.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a big one right there.
Yep.
That's a very big one. That's amazing. See, I
Yes.
love that, Loren, that you are just encompassing everything. You're going from the root all the way up. And I love that.
Yeah.
So your patients must be just so happy with you.
They are. It's a shock. It's a shock because a lot of times they don't realize the gravity of what a dietitian nutritionist can actually do. Because before, we were thought of as lunch ladies. Oh, it's just nutrition. It's just diet. Go get your diet,
Right.
get your meal plan, come right up, step right up, one at a time. And it's not that way anymore. It's really understanding what is going on in the body to figure out, what their ailments are. And yeah, we're like the little detectives behind the illnesses. And so sometimes it's stressful to the patient because they're like, oh, this is new. And I'm like, well, yeah, and they're excited, but it can be stressful. So we do go very, very slow.
Uh-huh.
I go at your pace. I am a rip the Band-Aid off kind of girl. Like, do not toy with me. Take it
Right.
off right now. What do I have to do? Okay, fine. I'm going to do it. But that's me. But if you want to move at a slower pace, I'm good. I'm all for moving in micro steps.
Mhm.
It's very similar to how you climb a mountain, how you learn to walk,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's one step at a time. And so why are we rushing? This is a lifestyle change. It is not a diet. It is a lifestyle change. So we have our entire life to navigate this rough terrain that we're going to face, right?
Right.
So,
But the beauty is that you're there with them facing it.
absolutely.
Because as we know, we can't do the work for them, but
Mhm.
you can guide them
Yeah.
and nurture them and walk them through it so they don't feel alone and they feel that support,
Mhm.
that support system. And I love that about you being a holistic practitioner. I think that's great. So how would someone reach you? How, if they want to come in and, do a session with you?
So I do have an email. I have an Instagram, so I'll give my Instagram. My Instagram is Live Love Food for Life, and at Instagram. And then my website is livelovefoodforlife.com.
I love it. And so they can go ahead and schedule a one-on-one with you. Okay, I love that. And so tell us, do you have anything that's coming up, anything new that's coming up that you're planning on doing for your holistic community?
Yes, actually, I have been wanting to do a Q&A with a dietitian for some time. And so I am going to be hosting uh, a Q&A just to get an idea of what people want to know.
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many new trends and things that happen in society, and sometimes they bring them to my attention, and it's something I hadn't heard of, because it's like, oh, is that new?
Right.
And so then I have to run it to the ground and figure out what it is, and what the benefits are, and pros and cons kind of thing, right? Advantages, disadvantages. So I wanted to do, or I'm going to do the Zoom meeting, a live Zoom meeting for live Q&A.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's going to be so interesting. And you'll let us know when the date is?
Absolutely. We are in talks right now when the date is going to be. Literally, I just have to show up, right? Because I don't know what people are going to ask me, but it's going to be based on nutrition, right? It's strictly on nutrition topics, supplements, even various conditions, right? What do you do for this, and weight loss, and things like that. Yeah. So.
And I know that we are going to be collaborating on a workshop where Lauren's going to come to one of our Worthy Women Warrior workshops, where she will be doing a demonstration and doing some cooking.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And she's a delicious cook, vegan. Yes, I will say vegan. She got me to taste some stuff that I'm like, really? Are you sure? It was delicious. Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah.
And so we're planning on doing that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
I do like to support the Worthy Wellness, so I do sponsor those events for Gloria's nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a little stuck there. So yeah, that's just one that we have that it should be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to settle on a date. But there are others. There are others that are going to be coming so that we can work together and continue to support such a great foundation.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So Loren will be a regular guest once a month on the podcast, so she can talk to us about different subjects. You can always reach out to me, to us at Worthy Wellness, if there's a certain topic you'd like to listen to, and things like that. And also, you can also reach out to Loren on her Instagram or her website if you're interested in seeing her doing a one-on-one consultation. Do you do consultations, Loren?
I do. And we're getting ready to offer some packages as well. And I am in the process of looking to rebrand my my company, but it does take a little bit of time as an effort, right? And so yeah.
But she's doing great. She's a busy, busy lady. And by the way, I'm sitting here looking at these delicious vegan cookies that she brought. So we're going to enjoy one of those here in a few minutes when we're done. But Loren, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners this evening? Final word.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Gloria's organization. I'm so grateful, because it's people like Gloria that really make the world go round. They help support people that are in need. And I think we need more of Gloria. So I want to thank her audience. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be with her. And I look forward to participating in more conversations, right? And so, yeah. So thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Loren. You're so sweet. Oh my gosh. She's such a great person. So we have our Love Fest here finishing up. We're having such a great time. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It was a pleasure. And we wish you a very blessed evening. And thank you again for listening to our podcast. And Loren, I love you. Thank you again.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
If you're also a woman entrepreneur to support our cause and would like to be considered on this podcast, please reach out to us. We would love to connect. We see you. We want to connect, empower, and inspire others. So please call or text or even fax 949-793-8781. Or our Instagram is Worthy Wellness Inc., like INC. Hope to hear from you, and thank you for listening.